Hello. Not sure if many of you have seen, but there was a new Pinocchio movie trailer that was kind of trending around the internets lately. And the movie has Pauly Shore voice acting as Pinocchio. And the reason it went so viral was the fact of how utterly trash the voice acting was in the trailer, specifically from Pauly Shore.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
And me being the trooper that I am, the curiosity got the better of me and I ended up watching this movie. And all I can say is, why? Why did you make this movie, Lionsgate? Why? What possessed you to do this? I mean, sure, Disney's coming out with a new Pinocchio later in September of this year, but I mean, come on, you really think they just did that? They just threw a movie together real quick just to jump on the hype train that the new Pinocchio is coming out and maybe trick some older people to grab in the bin and be like, oh, it's the new Pixar Disney Pinocchio movie. Here you go, son. Yeah, that's what they did. And for those of you out there who think you know the story of Pinocchio, I'm sorry, you're wrong. See, actually, the title of this movie is called Pinocchio, a True Story. See, all those other Pinocchio stories with him with his nose growing and all that different weird stuff, no. This is the real story. I mean, come on, you guys all know the story of when Pinocchio joined the circus with his talking horse. I mean, that's common knowledge. They even had an interesting cast of decent actors. We have Tom Kenny, Pauly Shore, and even John Heater. It's a weird combination. And something funny about Pauly Shore specifically is that he defends this movie to hell and back. He did this whole interview where he kind of was talking about how he went in a specific artistic direction and all this other stuff, trying to cover up how piss poor his voice acting was throughout this movie. You just wanted a paycheck, Pauly. No one is gonna judge you for doing a mockbuster type movie just because you needed a paycheck. Come on, like, it's okay. You don't have to defend it. And when I say the voice acting is bad in this, honestly, text-to-speech would have done a better job. I've never seen such weird pacing and lack of emotion when it comes to this type of stuff. And the story, there isn't one. I cannot fathom what even happened in this movie. It's almost like this was a complete AI generated story that just was a fever dream that I couldn't wake up from. It just won't stop. But like I said before, I'm a nice gentleman. I'm a nice guy. You know, I do nice things for people. So I wasted an hour and 30 minutes of my life. I can't get that back. That hour and 30 minutes that I watched that movie, I can't get that back. What do I have left? So this movie starts out with Napoleon Dynamite Horse giving a narration at the beginning of this movie, which makes absolutely no goddamn sense why the horse Tybalt is narrating this at all, because he narrates the beginning, but they never go along with the narration aspect throughout the movie. Like, he does an intro, says, oh, you've never heard of the real story of Pinocchio? Well, let me tell you today, senors and senoritas. And correct me if I'm wrong, but throughout the movie, they say senorina.
Greetings, noble senors and senoritas.
It just felt weird that they kept saying senorina instead of senorita. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know Spanish. It just felt weird. But yeah, Tybalt the horse doesn't even do an outro narration. He's just there in the beginning and that's it. But at least the story is mysterious and full of wonders. They said that. That was a line in the movie.
Is mysterious and full of great wonder.
But anyway, the horse talks about all the right-wing propaganda of how they spread the lies of the Pinocchio story, like it has a growing nose and how ridiculous that is and all the stupid propaganda that comes along with it. Remember, guys, this is the true story. Then we meet Geppetto, the dude who ended up making Pinocchio the wooden boy. And he's having trouble coming up with a name for Pinocchio, so he does a little bit of a pop culture reference for comedic relief.
Baby Leonardo. That won't do either. He'd grow up to be a selfish actor, or an artist, or a turtle who only cares about pizza.
I know those guys. That was a reference to pop culture. And then Tybalt the talking horse, who is the worst character in this movie, comes in and just says, yo, that wooden doll that you spent a long time making and looks exactly like a real boy, trash, garbage. It has zero personality and looks like an idiot, and you're worthless. So anyway, Geppetto is like a woodworker and he fixes stuff and he ends up fixing the wand of a fairy. And the fairy, as she's rolling away in her little stroller, she goes, bibbity bobbity, I need a lobotomy, and turns Pinocchio into a boy. Well, it gives him life. He's still wooden, but you know.
This time, we'll do something more interesting and magical.
Man, this really was written by an AI.
And what do you think will come of all this?
Trust me, Caro. At least this will make for an extremely interesting story.
Okay, all right, calm down, guys. I know you wrote this script, but are you really gonna hype up your own story within the script multiple times? They've already done it multiple times, talking about how mysterious and wonderful and interesting the story is. Where is the story? Where is it? So anyway, we skip a bit forward, and Pinocchio's doing some flip-flops on Tybalt, the horse, with some weird grunts from Pauly Shore. Like, what is this? What are these noises? And then we meet the detectives, who I still have absolutely no freaking clue what their purpose is at all. So he goes to Geppetto's house and he is asking if he sees anyone suspicious. And both Pinocchio and Tybalt are hiding, acting like they're hiding something, or are they just illegal to exist? A talking horse and a wooden talking boy? But it's really never explained why they're hiding. The detective never let on that he's looking for a wooden boy. It was never explained if they did anything wrong. They're just hiding and there's no reason why. But then Geppetto lectures both Tybalt and Pinocchio about how they need to stay hidden. This is very important, Pinocchio. You need to stay hidden away from people. They're not going to be able to handle a wooden talking boy, okay? We need to gradually lead you into the world so people aren't, freaked out and scared of you. You understand, Pinocchio? So you promise you'll stay inside, right? And then Pinocchio just runs away. I'm not joking. Geppetto goes on a long, lengthy monologue about how he needs to stay inside and stay safe. And both Tybalt and Pinocchio are like, okay, I'll make sure to do that. And then he just lets him run away. And to make matters worse, the reason they're running away is because they heard the sound of gunshots. And they're like, oh, let's go find out where that came from. What? That is the first thought that comes into my mind when I hear gunshots, is go towards him, find out what's happening. Maybe he'll die. God, please die. So we find out where the bullets are coming from. A talking cat from a circus. I guess a talking horse and a wooden boy is illegal, but a talking cat with a gun isn't. Wait a second. Is that cat just a fat talking Tom? It's literally just a fat talking Tom with a gun. This isn't the future I asked for. But anyway, we see the circus people having a little meeting about like how they need to bring in more audience because their acts are getting stale. You kind of see where this is going. They need a new act, and Pinocchio just happens to be a wooden talking boy.
Here's an idea. We'll turn off all the lights, and I'll crawl between the seats, grabbing the audience by their feet.
So fat talking Tom shoots a pine cone that ends up hitting a horse, and then the horse goes on a rampage and ramps a bunch of stuff. And oh no, we have a runaway carriage with a girl named Bella, I think, on the back. Yeah, like I said, this movie kind of just happens to you, and you just kind of have to accept it, But Pinocchio comes to save the day, does a little flip-flop, jumps on the horse, stops the horse. But then talking Tom catches up to them and then shoots Pinocchio. He just shoots him, just cold-blooded, just straight up murder right in front of everyone.
Pinocchio! What have you done?
That's a very tame reaction to someone getting murdered in front of your very eyes. Oh no, you killed him. Why did you do that? He's dead. Oh no. What am I doing? Why am I watching this shit? But anyway, we discovered that since Pinocchio is made of wood, he is bulletproof. Dear God, he's too powerful. Burn him. Burn him. So anyway, the ringmaster saw Pinocchio do all those flips and also sees that he's a wooden boy. And he's like, hey, my boy, join the circus with us. And now Tybalt is Pinocchio's talent agent. That was actually a interaction in this movie, is Tybalt becoming Pinocchio's talent agent.
Thank you, but we're not interested.
Of course you will be a star, because you already have such a marvelous talent agent, senor.
The name's Tybalt.
So anyway, Pinocchio goes to ask his father if he could join the circus. His father, who just went on a giant lecture about how he needs to stay indoors and stay away from people because no one is going to be able to handle a walking, talking wooden boy. And then his father just says, yeah, go ahead. What? So you're just gonna preach to your son for an hour about how no one could see him. Also, apparently, Pinocchio is completely illegal and has the police searching for him. But you know what? Screw it. Go to a circus where you'll be in front of a bunch of people. That makes sense. And then we get yet another completely pointless scene with the detectives. And for some reason, all these characters do. I'm not exaggerating, is every time they're on the screen, they talk about how they're detectives. We're detectives. We search for things. We think. That's what we do. We're detectives. We look for stuff. We find clues. We're detectives. That's what we are. And I still don't know what their purpose is. I don't understand. So we get to see the circus in action with fat talking Tom and Furry the Fox doing a little shoot routine, and everyone hates it. Everyone literally despises them until Pinocchio comes on and does a little flip-flop on the horse, and then the crowd goes wild for it.
Promise we'll go back to my father as soon as we see the world, and we make some money at least. But for now, since you're my talent agent, you can take his place.
What? You want me to be your father?
Oh yes, of course! The classic Pinocchio story where he leaves his original father and gets adopted by a horse. A classic tale of a wooden boy. What? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention there are musical numbers in this movie, and honestly, the woman who sings the songs, she's a decent voice. I mean, she's okay.
We are cheering, what if you...
Really? Really? You're really gonna say "what of you" with an upskirt shot? Come on, guys. That's a little bit sus.
Amazing. You were out of this world. Your song was so beautiful, Bella. And you were so brave.
No human speaks like that, Polly. No human speaks like that. So anyway, they have a little montage of Pinocchio going on tour with them with the circus, and then he starts getting a little bit of a crush on Bella. Then once again, we get another pointless scene of the detectives, and once again, I don't understand why they exist. They apparently are now following the circus. Do they have a reason for following the circus? No, they just saw a picture on a wall that said circus, and then the detective's like, we're detectives. We think, let's go to the circus. Let's see where they're going. I still don't know why. They never explained why they're going there, who they're searching for, what they're trying to do. They just exist. I hate them. I hate it so much. So up next, we have, the forced love interest situation that happens in a lot of these dumbass movies, where Pinocchio's talking to Tybalt outside of Bella's little carriage thingy, and Tybalt gives Pinocchio a little bit of an Instagram motivational post. You gotta go after her, Pinocchio. If you never try, you'll never know. But what if she says no to me? You've gotta try. I'm not gonna wait around forever. Okay. There, I literally saved you 15 minutes of your freaking life, and I did better voice acting. And as Tybalt is walking away after this conversation, he says, you better listen to your father. This isn't real. This isn't real. We're just, what? And then this part of the movie is just insultingly stupid. So I think what was supposed to happen in this part of the movie is Bella was supposed to overhear her dad and the circus gang like saying some evil plan in the background, but all that they say is that the circus is going to be sold out tomorrow. And then the cat says, oh, but what if Pinocchio leaves? And he's like, he'll never leave. He has a crush on Bella. And then they make an evil laugh. You have a sold out show, Pinocchio's interested in Bella, and so he'll stay. What's evil? Pinocchio wants to be there. There's no scheming or evil part at all. You actually won't find out until later on in the movie what they're actually doing. I think they were supposed to mention what the actual bad thing they're doing is here, but I guess they just forgot to write it in the script. I don't know. But obviously watching this the first time, I was blatantly confused. But since Bella overheard that Pinocchio has a crush on her and that they have a sold out show, he's like, get out of here, Pinocchio. You have to leave. You have to leave before it's too late. You please leave. Fucking so stupid. It's so stupid.
You're a great guy, that's true. But it's better if you leave before something terrible happens.
You want me to leave the circus?
Trust me, it will be better this way. You have to leave as soon as possible.
But...
No buts. Get out. Leave. I don't even like you.
Leave. I don't even like you. God, there's no way this movie's real, dude. There's no way. And then more stuff makes it even more confusing. Okay, so they want Pinocchio to stay, correct? They want Pinocchio to stay because they have sold out shows. And they just talked about how the reason he'll stay is the fact that he likes Bella. However, the talking cat and the fox go over to Pinocchio after Bella dumped him and then talked about how he'll never get with Bella because he's a wooden boy and he'll never have a chance with her. If you want him to stay because of Bella, Why would you tell him that he can't get with Bella? It'll just make him leave. Oh God, stop thinking. It's just gonna hurt. It's just gonna hurt if I start thinking. And then we start getting the newborn life crisis of Pinocchio where he's like, oh no, I just realized I'm made of wood. Oh no, I'll never be able to touch woman. I'll never be able to touch a booba. I'll never have a penis, or at least a working one. I mean, I guess you could like just makeshift like a little rod onto his front torso. I'm getting into weird territory here. But basically, Pinocchio wants to be a real boy now, no longer wooden boy. And then again, this movie just takes off into a completely new direction. So Pinocchio, you know, was whining about how he can't become a real boy. And then a clown walks out of nowhere, a clown who's been at the circus for a long time, and he's like, Pinocchio, I know of a fairy who lives in the mountains that could turn you into a real boy. So now they're gonna go to the mountains and find a fairy. Oh, there's that migraine. Yep. There's that migraine. Dude, I don't understand these like evil henchman characters talking Tom and Furry the Fox. They make no sense. But they both overhear of the fairy Lucinda or something like that. I forgot. I don't care enough to remember their names. But anyway, they overhear that he has 5 gold coins. So they come up with this scheme to stop them on their way to the fairy and scam them out of their 5 gold coins. So like the cat tries to rob them, and it doesn't work, and they run away. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Aren't they making a lot of money from Pinocchio selling out shows? Why are they trying to steal 5 gold coins from him? What? So they end up finding the path to the fairy, and then we get this weird scene where there's a parakeet sounding like a ghost to scare them away, and then Tybalt gets really scared because of the spirit sounds. And then Pinocchio's like, aren't you supposed to be my father? You're supposed to teach me courage. And then Tybalt's like, yeah, you're right. And then rocks start falling, and then he jumps over the fence, and then they make it to the Lucinda lady. So they get to the ferry, and finally Pinocchio could come. So they finally get to the ferry, and oh my God, thank God, now Pinocchio could become a real boy, and then we could, oh wait, what? Oh, she can't turn him into a real boy. So the past 20 minutes of this movie could have been completely taken out, and no one would have, actually, you know what? Scratch that. All of this movie could have been taken out and no one would have cared. It should have never been made. But then Tybalt starts calling her a scam artist and a loser, and then they all leave. And then she gives some more Instagram motivational quotes to Pinocchio. All of the greatest miracles in the world happen without the help of us fairies. You just have to believe in yourself to become a human. Did you know that being a human sometimes is the hardest thing in the world? So the ringmaster is going to whip his henchman to death.
I will whip you to death! No, I will kill you too with my bare hands!
And then the detectives come back into play, and now we finally understand, sort of, as to what their whole thing was. So the detectives are walking down the road, and Pinocchio and Tybalt see them, and they hide. Still don't understand why they have to hide. Are they illegal? But anyway, the detective finally tells his apprentices, I guess you could call them, that they're following the circus because the circus sells out shows, and while everyone's watching the show, they go to their houses and rob their houses. Never was implied throughout, we're an hour into this movie. Never once was implied ever that any of this happened until now. That the detectives knew about it, that anyone in this entire movie knew about it. Oh, I hate this. Oh, also, the detective believes that the person behind it is just Pinocchio, which makes absolutely no sense. But, you know, we gotta have some conflict, I guess, if you could call it that. And then out of nowhere, Tybalt and Pinocchio get into an argument and then walk their separate ways. I mean, you know those movies where like the two buddies end up getting into some, you know, fight, a conflict to where they go their separate ways? They just like threw that in there. Let's just toss that in there just for no fucking reason. Just throw it in there. Pinocchio's like, I'm gonna go back to talk to Bella. And then Tybalt's like, no, I don't wanna. And he's like, oh, you're a bad friend. No, what? You're a bad friend. He's like, no, you're a bad father. And then because, you know, the horse is his father now. Yeah, whatever. We'll just keep going. And what makes their fight even dumber is the fact that they fight, they walk away, and both of them feel bad for it instantly. Tybalt's walking away and he starts insulting Pinocchio, hits his head on a tree. 2 Tybalt spirits come out and talk about how they shouldn't have left Pinocchio there. Pinocchio could get turned into a doorknob. I don't understand why there's 2 Tybalt spirits there. Doesn't really make much sense, but this movie doesn't make any sense at all. And then we cut to Pinocchio, who's also like, I shouldn't have talked to Tybalt like that. That was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. It happened 2 seconds ago, man. Happened 2 seconds ago. And as Pinocchio is walking away regretting his decisions, the detectives end up arresting Pinocchio, and then Tybalt comes to save the day, slowly walks backwards toward the detectives, kicks him into a tree, and also the entire time Tybalt is attacking the detectives, he's talking about how he's the boy's father, and not even the detectives question it. I guess this is normal. This is totally normal. And then, yeah, they get away from the detectives. There's still more to this movie. So Pinocchio ends up going back to see Bella, and then Bella's like, oh yeah, I knew about the situation with them robbing the houses, but I couldn't do anything. And Pinocchio's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care about what you say. You liar. And then they throw him in a carriage, and oh, there's Geppetto. He's there. He's in circus prison. Okay. And how this movie ends is just magnifico. Oh. So Tybalt comes up with a plan where he talks to all of the other circus folk to basically do a coup against Sir Magnifico. I forget how you say his name, the ringleader. And how they do it is they do a song. So John Heder and Pauly Shore, they sing a little song together, and it's bad. Oh, it's bad. They sing a song about how they rob everything. They rob everyone while we do our show. They're robbing your houses while we're doing our show. I'm just recreating the song for you guys so you don't have to listen to it. I hope my version's a little bit better. Okay, and then what happens is the ringleader, because he's upset that he got caught, throws a oil lantern into the center, and apparently the entire circus tent is covered in gasoline because the whole thing blows up in flames in a matter of seconds. And the thing is, the exit is like right there. Like the exit's right there, man. Like you literally just gotta walk a couple feet and you're out. But for some reason, again, since this place is covered in gasoline, a bunch of like sticks and burning logs fall in front of Bella. And then all of a sudden, Pinocchio, who was just standing on the floor, is flying in the sky from a rope.
Get your paws off her!
Pinocchio!
Bella, I'm coming! Hold on, got you!
What the fuck? And instead of just walking a couple feet to just like grab her and like help her out, he goes on that rope, puts her on the ring. She goes down, he goes up. So he's like hanging on a rope for his dear life when they both could have made it out alive 5 minutes ago. And so Pinocchio, you know, made of wood, falls into the giant flame. So yes, Pinocchio dies. My wish has been granted. The demon is slain. We can live in peace. No, Tybalt, don't you, God damn it. The horse saved him, or let me rephrase that. His father saved him. And somehow not only Pinocchio himself, but all of his clothes are perfectly intact, even after he falls into the hellfire. This kid is a demon. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Tybalt is completely clean and unscathed without any burn marks until Tybalt lays him on the floor, and then we see Pinocchio covered in ash and dirt and burn marks. Yeah, I guess they just forgot to add that little burn effect around him. But everyone's surrounding Pinocchio. Oh no, Pinocchio, oh no, you're dead. And then Bella sheds one tear that falls on his heart, makes a little heart shape, and he becomes a human boy. Now he can finally be vanquished from our planet. So anyway, the detectives, who didn't have any idea what was going on, arrested the bad dudes. Pinocchio becomes a real boy, and then the fairy comes in and is like, no, Pinocchio, it was in you all along. All you had to do was sacrifice yourself for another, and then you become human. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is Pinocchio, a true story, the true story. I'm sorry, any other story, completely false and wrong. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe and tell your friends about me, especially your mother. I'm gonna give her a call later.
Hey, rob everyone while we do our show. They're robbing your houses while we're doing our show.